Testing, testing, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Another week, another dev chat. Might have to lower the volume of the music. Okay. What have I worked on this week? The collision detection in the other project, right? In the engine project. What else? What else? Added Vietnamese. Character and saw blade exclusion from random. I think that's about it. Short one, yeah. Not a lot added. New font. Yeah. Okay, it's time to drop in. Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello. John will not be here today.
Okay. Well, it's gonna be a real short one then, yeah.
Yeah, it's alright. Short one is fine. I think John has some show to attend. Yeah, so he's not joining us. Hopefully next week he'll be joining us, and hopefully he will have a playable game to show. Alright. Yeah, how's your week?
It was alright. I just woke up a little while ago.
Alright. Yeah, you sound tired.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It was alright. It wasn't bad. It was stuff came up.
Stuff came out?
Yeah. Had some termites in the walls, and they're specifically in my room.
Oh no.
Since I sleep during the day, anytime someone comes in to like check on it or whatever, like an exterminator or whatever, it kind of interrupts my sleep. So,
Oh no.
yeah, so I'm not getting like the best sleep.
How long does it take to exterminate the termites?
Don't know. They were talking. Okay, so we had one of the exterminators or two come by, and they said, "Well, that's the thing. They never go away. So apparently, when you get them, they leave a scent, and as long as that scent's there, they're just gonna keep coming.
Oh
So they
no.
have to put this poison down, and so as long as that poison's there, they'll keep eating the poison. It'll kill them. So you just gotta keep feeding them poison.
Oh, so it can only be solved by, like, in the long term. You can't just get rid of it in an afternoon.
Yeah.
Oh damn. Damn, that's not good.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while.
Yeah. I had a little bit of a bug problem as well this week.
Oh.
Have you ever, I mean, what's the size of cockroaches in the States? Like, yeah.
It depends. They get like 2 inches.
2 inches?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's fairly big, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had one because my apartment is like really close to the, or rather my room, right? It's really close to the garbage disposal for the entire flat. and occasionally I'll have like cockroaches climbing into my room through the window, and yeah, earlier this week, right, there's one that didn't just climb in; it flew right in, and it's like size of my thumb. I freaked out. It was like it was past midnight and it flew right in. Yeah,
it's the worst when they fly.
yeah, they fly and they're huge, right? They're huge.
Yeah, they look even bigger when they fly.
Yeah, and the cockroaches in Singapore here, right? They have like, I don't know how to describe them, but they have like long bodies and thin legs, and it's just horrible. It's terrible, terrible. Anyways, oh, Han shared the link. Hang on.
Singapore cockroach.
Yeah.
They look like ours.
Sorry.
Not that different, I think.
Oh, it's same as the ones in the States?
It's the same kind, yeah.
Ah, right. Because that's the only one I see here in Singapore. Let me see. Cockroaches. Yeah, this one, right? Horrible. But they are like smaller, cuter ones, right? like this one. Madagascar hissing cockroaches.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. This
Sorry, I didn't. Wait. Okay, I had to open the stream.
Alright. Chow said my house got
Yeah, that
flooded
can be
recently. Hey
Oh.
Chow. Oh,
Goodness.
flooded? Some rooms were ankle deep flooded. How?
Wow.
Well, everyone is having problems this week then. Terrible. Look at the hairy legs. Yuck. Anyways.
Yeah, it's coming right now. We also have those little bitty ones, little like.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wait, let's see if I can find it.
Oh yeah, let me respond to Han. Han, the link you showed, I think it's a private link. We can't access it. Pipe blockage. Child experienced pipe blockage this week. Oh, Bees is here. Yo, Bees. Hello, Bees. Hang on, let me just shout out Chow and Bees. Are you looking up cockroaches?
Yeah, well, I mean, apparently there's only 4.
4?
I just looked and it was like the 4 kinds of cockroaches, and I was like, what?
Only 4? I thought there'll be like several types.
Oh, here we
Cockroaches.
go. Wait, no, here's a. They all look very similar, or most of them look very similar.
Right. Huh. I think they are so annoying. It's not like, if you see like a house lizard or gecko, right? Like they are generally afraid of humans, right? They will just crawl away if you approach.
Yeah, they'll
But
run
cockroaches
away.
don't do that. They are just haphazardly moving around.
Oh, it depends.
Uh-huh. Damn. Alright. Anyways. Interesting opening topic. Anyways, shall we begin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll start first. What was I gonna say? Oh yes, let me run this. This week, well, not a lot. I haven't like done a lot, to be honest. Partly because of school. Also partly because I'm dedicating a little, some time to playing Zelda. which is a fantastic game. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. It's the I know I said this last week, but the sense of exploration is crazy. Like everywhere you go, you see something that catches your interest, and so far it hasn't feel repetitive yet. Right? I don't know. Like, have you played any? Have you played like say Assassin's Creed? You know
It's been
those
a while. I don't think I played it very long though.
Right. When I play Assassin's Creed and perhaps like some other open world, well, quote unquote open world games, like say the recent Tomb Raider trilogy, the open world doesn't really feel very organic because it's presented as very explicitly as like a checklist, right? You go into the UI, right? You see this checklist that you have to clear. So even though it's presented to you as a open world, everything is marked out for you, so you're just going from point to point and finishing the task. But Zelda is very in that sense, right? Zelda is very minimalistic. It doesn't force you to complete any task. It just wants you to explore and discover things. And I think that I don't know. I think that contributes a lot to the sense of immersion. Yeah. Anyways, what was I talking about Zelda? Oh yes. I did.
Actions, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I got distracted by Zelda. Fantastic game. Anyways, I did a. Oh yeah. So last week I showed the checkbox, right? So this week is actually working. So it's actually working now. Like if I were to uncheck like a particular character, they will not show up in the random selection. I added some sound in there, very minor additions.
What happens if you uncheck them all?
If you check them all, that's a good one. So let me show you what happens. So if you hang on. Oh frick! Wrong button. Alright, that's locked right there. So if you look at the random selection, you can see that it's switching between all of the unlocked characters, right? So if I were to uncheck them all, right, and then go back to random, you'll notice that it's stuck with the default character, which is General Ginger. Yeah. So that's the edge case that I have to handle. Yeah, because I knew that someone would try to do that, right? Yeah, someone would try to do that. Charles said, I've been playing original Morrowind and it really delivers on the open world, but it's so freaking old. Yeah, Morrowind is like 15 years old, maybe? I can't remember. Yeah, anyways, that I have handled. Same thing. I have to do the same for the saw blades as well. Code-wise, it's my code is not particularly well written in that the character selection code and the saw blade selection code they are like basically duplicated, right? I didn't reuse the code, so that aspect is not fantastic, but I wanted to get it done quick, and that's what I did. Anyways, I added more saw blades. So I added the compact disc. This is me just copying the CD emoji. I added Daisy. Yeah, I added Daisy. So it's like actually looks like a flower now, right? I don't know. I guess.
Like a cog.
Oh, looks like a card. Well, it's funny because originally I named it gear, but then I don't know. It didn't look like a gear to me because I'm not sure why. I don't know, it comes across as a little bit too cartoony, maybe.
Well, I mean,
I'm not sure.
I use this exact same gear I make every time I make a gear of this size.
Oh, already? Oh, right.
Yeah, if I recognize it automatically. Because that's what because this is the only real way to actually get at this particular size.
Yeah, exactly. So like I had trouble getting it to look satisfactory in that size. So eventually I just repurpose it as a flower. And then Smiley. This is ironic because it's an angry face. But if you jump over it, right?
Smiles.
It smiles. And there we go. Right. Yeah. So I have these three new saw blades added. And well, one additional character added, which is the Moai, right? So that one is properly added in now. I finished up the rest of the animation. So basically, the next update will feature 3 unlockable saw blades and 1 new character. And earlier this week, I mentioned I have I was having issue with the Vietnamese fonts because the font I'm using for other languages outside of English uh, does does not support Vietnamese. So I had to look for a new font, and I did manage to find one. There we go. That's Vietnamese right there. Yeah, it's particularly difficult to find a font that supports Vietnamese because they have a lot of this. I don't know what you call this, right? This accent on top of the characters. Yeah, and there's like many different types. So
yeah, I can see this.
yeah, yeah.
Just that was one page.
Yeah, and there are, sometimes there's a dot below the character, and because of that a lot of fonts like don't support all of the characters, so I had to look for a while, and yeah, I'm lucky enough to find one that is also that has this pixel aesthetic, so that's fantastic.
Kind of like that they have all these little accent things though. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. I was actually quite afraid that it wouldn't be readable, but it seems fine, right? It looks okay. Yeah, there we go. So, that is done. Then, finally, and this is a very quick presentation. Finally, you remember this the Raylip thing I was working on previously? I was talking about this.
Yeah.
Just very briefly, right? Because I thought I needed the practice, so I play around. Mostly during class time. When no one is asking me question, I can dedicate time to just fiddle around with the framework. So I've added collision. Ta-da! Okay, that's it. But the code is ported over from GameMaker. So like the algorithms themselves are not tied to any engines. They are like they're universal, right? So I can port all the stuff over, and they more or less work. Yeah, I did have like I did spend actually quite a lot of time trying to figure out why my collision response didn't work at first, right? The character keep passing through the block. Yeah, and I was pretty pissed off. I was trying to debug it in class, right? And I think like my face was getting like, how do I put it? Yeah. So I was getting pretty annoyed at the fact that I couldn't figure out the bug. But it turns out that there's a line of code that was executed out of sequence. I should have done that line first before I do the rest of the collision detection and response, but I didn't do that. So it's just carelessness on my part. Yeah, very very careless. But that's done. Sorry.
Yeah, just one line of code.
Yeah, one line of code, right? One line of code. Well, the exact issue is this. So in GameMaker, what I did was like I add gravity to the velocity, right? So that's one of the first things you have to do. So I did that. Then I do the game logic, right? Which is you manipulate the player's velocity. Maybe if you jump, right, you change the velocity and so on and so forth. Then after that I do collision detection. So I check if it's overlapping anything. If it's overlapping anything, then I resolve the collision, right? Which means that if I'm hitting the floor, I push it up from the floor. So that's the sequence, right? But when I was plotting this, I messed up one line. I put the line about gravity. I put it after my collision detection. So yeah. So the response was never really correct because the gravity keeps pulling it down by a bit. So that's that. Yeah. Yeah, that's all I have. Hang on, Han said something. Why is the loading I see near the left right button?
Well, that was a while back. That was before you showed your font.
Oh damn. Sorry Han, let me run this. Is it the Vietnamese text? What is the loading I see near the left right button? What loading?
I think it was before this.
Before this?
Before this.
Oh, character selection. Oh! Yeah. This, he's talking about this thing. You see that bar up here? Oh, it's for this,
Oh!
Yeah, it's for cycling through the character.
Oh, it's to
Yeah, it's
oh
the
yeah,
yeah.
repeat button.
That was like quite some time ago. Look at this. I thought like I needed some kind of a visual feedback to tell people that hey, you know, there's something is actually happening when you're pressing down on the button. This is how I'm trying to communicate to player that you can hold down the button without any words. I'm not sure how effective it is. I hope it is effective enough. Yeah. So that's that.
Yeah, I
That's
guess
Mhm.
they'd look at it, they'd see it, and they'd be like, "What? What is that? Why is it showing up?" When I just saw it, I thought it was a glitch. To be honest,
Oh
yeah.
dear.
My first thought was, "That's weird. That's like, 'cause it looks so out of place. It's like you don't expect like a
Right. Yeah,
like
you have a
weird
point,
bug."
but I'm not entirely sure how I should go
I
about it
mean,
without text.
you would just show it all the time. That
Show it
way
all the
people
time?
know it's there. Yeah, and then they're like, "Oh, okay. If it's there all the time, then it's not. Then it doesn't." Because when I thought it was a bug, that pretty much distracted me from any other assumption.
Uh-huh.
So my assumption was stuck on, is that maybe a bug? I don't know.
Mm,
And so if I was playing it, I'd probably just keep clicking it. Like I'd probably figure out what it is, maybe.
right.
I'm not sure. I probably wouldn't
After
make
a
the
while.
connection with
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
because let me see. Yeah, because you have to hold it down, and
Mm.
then you have to make the connection that every time it fills in, it moves. See, you might be able to make it. Yeah. I mean, no one's complained about it, right?
No one has complained
Yeah,
yet.
okay.
Yet.
I
Yeah.
guess it works. Yeah, I guess it works well enough.
Yeah. But the idea is this, right? Like the player themselves press the button and then they see the thing appear. So my thought process is that you know, they would have known they are the one triggering that thing that
Yeah, because
appears. Yeah.
they would have kept pressing the button, and then
Yeah.
it would have been like, "Oh, that's weird."
Yeah, we'll see. But this is a good point. It's a good point. Han said that maybe you know it might come across as some kind of a development build, right? Like for debug UI.
Yeah.
Yeah, has a point. Okay. That's it for me. I think going forward, I will be. I need to release a build very soon. I promised myself I want to release an update every month, right? So, I have like maybe 10 days left to publish a new build. So a new build of saw blades will be coming up. So that will be my focus. And I need to get it tested as well. Yeah, that's it for me.
Excuse me. All right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't have a lot either. I because most of the stuff I did is all behind the scenes stuff,
right.
like programming the abilities mostly.
Oh, okay.
Uh, yeah, I can't really like show that off. Maybe I kind of can, but kind of can't.
You can't show it
Because
off? Why is that? Why is...
no, I can, but it's like you don't really notice. You know, it's one of those things where it's like you don't really see it unless you know what's going on or whatever.
Right.
Let me,
I just noticed you pasted the link to cockroaches. I didn't realize until just now. Oh, American cockroach. Yeah, the ones here looks exactly like... Well, Australian or American... yeah, looks quite similar, yeah. Coloration difference?
Yeah, it's pretty much all the big difference. Right. So one of the, one of the I was testing around and I was trying to figure out how I wanted to do my islands. I kind of regret not making it bigger, but at the same time, it feels bigger. It'd be harder to navigate around and stuff. Or I might change up some navigations. Anyways, so they're now like they're all the same because they're all the same.
Uh-huh.
You know, they're the.
What are these
You
structures
get the
again?
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the structures again? Like, is that a factory of sorts?
It's a crypt. What would you call the mausoleum? Is that the right word?
Mausoleum.
I think whenever you hover over, it's gonna say it like up here in the top left,
Right.
where you see those numbers.
Ah, right.
Yeah, maybe like undead or whatever. It's gonna show like the three dudes that are there, like you see on here.
Mm.
Then you have the shop. Yeah, that's pretty much all I did with the map so far. because most of the time it's been taken up by the yep.
Oh, in case Charles
Closing
wondering,
abilities.
in case Charles wondering what project you're showing, Devious, Devious is working on another new thing.
Uh,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
There we go.
Ignore this in the middle. That's just me.
Oh,
That's oh right. Actually, here, let me get rid of that. Get out of here. Oh,
okay.
wait, sorry. I just deleted more than I needed. There it goes. Because it deleted all this too, and I thought maybe I might have fucked up something.
Mm.
I think it deleted the layer there for a second. Anyways, okay, so so uh, so yeah, I think I added is all the abilities for the first 5 right here, so they all work. I also found most of their art, so they're all filled up now.
Mm.
So that's good. Yeah, I found a dragon. I found a nice little Jabberwocky.
Jabberwocky.
Yeah, it's
Jabberwocky
a
from Alice in Wonderland?
yeah. This is all Alice in Wonderland featured. Yeah,
Right.
the rabbit, the cat, the worm, Mad Hatter, and then I did my own thing with the other stuff, which is they're all plant based. So like they share familiar names. So this is like the court, like in the the courtroom.
Uh-huh.
This is the queen. This is the Jabberwocky, which I didn't know was a thing until the Disney movie. The Walt Disney, the live action Disney movie, which
Right.
sucked.
The Johnny Depp one?
Yeah, the Johnny Depp one.
Right. That's a
And
weird show, that one.
yeah, that was I wasn't a fan of that one. I don't like it one that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, so apparently there's a Jabberwocky, which I asked my sister, who's a big fan of Alice in Wonderland, and she's like, "Yeah, the Jabberwocky's like a thing." And I think they said they described it as a dragon, but they weren't completely sure what it looked like. So everyone, I guess, says it looks like a dragon. So I was like, "Oh, whatever, just making a damn dragon." Yeah, I wanted something like a little more character, so I give him like a little smirky look. Whatever. Anyways, so yeah, all their abilities work. I think I tested all of them and made sure they all did their thing. I programmed specific kinds of abilities. So let me. So for this one in particular, it spawns a mystic minion. So like if you use your ability, you can't move from there, but you can spawn it in like one of your spots. You get to make a choice. Then it's like those little things, and you can be like, "Oh, which one I want to make?" You get that one, then you spawns here, and you move them around. Another one. What was this one? What was the one that did that? You. Right. This one I'm actually experimenting with to see how it'll work. That second effect is kind of confusing, and I didn't know how to word it. But basically, I wanted a mimic.
Yes.
That you can play out. So basically, what happens is when you play this card, you can only play it in the battlefield. But when you play this card, you get to choose whether or not it becomes a mimic or whether it's just a regular chess. If it's like a regular chess and it's destroyed, your rival gets money. But if it lasts on the field long enough, it's like a gambling card for your opponent.
Right.
So when you play it, either they're going to get money when they attack it, or it's going to turn into a mimic. But if it's out in the field long enough, then you get money.
Right. And
or if go ahead.
you mentioned you get to choose whether it's a mimic or a regular chess.
Yeah, let me move right here. Okay, so whenever you place it,
Yeah.
you get a choice.
Why would anyone choose? Why would anyone make it a regular chess? It's just out of curiosity.
So if it stays on the field long enough, then you get money.
Oh.
When it's regular chess. So like if I think I put it at 3 turns, but I'm gonna have to fiddle it with for balancing reasons. But
Oh,
whenever you choose chest, if it stays on the field for at least 3 turns, then when it's destroyed, you get money. Uh, if it's destroyed before those 3 turns, then they get money. But
oh,
if you choose mimic, then if they destroy it within those 3 turns, then it becomes a mimic. Uh, but if it's but if they destroy it after 3 turns, then you get money.
right,
Yeah. So it's like a gamble. So when you choose it, only you will know. But your opponent has to decide whether or not to attack it or whether or not to just leave it there.
right. And
When you leave it, what?
oh no, most of the characters can hit from a distance, right? If I didn't remember wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So it doesn't really matter where you place the chest. It's always a
Well,
gamble.
if you place it behind someone with a shield,
Right.
so say this one. Oh, I probably shouldn't have did that. Anyways, if you place it behind someone with a shield, like this thing right here, it'll still protect it.
Ah, okay.
But it's a structure, so I can't move it. So it's like
Right.
kind of stuck there. Well, actually, I can probably explain.
If you do place it behind someone with a shield, that's telling your opponent that there is a regular chest, right? Pretty much.
Well, no, because that's part of the mind game. You can do
Ah,
that,
yes.
but but you can be like, yeah, you can make it like look obvious.
Uh,
But then if your opponent thinks it's obvious, then they'll go after it, and then if they destroy it, then you get a mimic. If
right.
you depending on which one you want, or you can just be like, oh, I'm actually protecting it to actually get the gold or whatever. So that's like part of the whole mind game between them.
Right. Well, if it is a mimic and it stays on the map for a long time, does anything happen? It just stays there.
Okay, so if no one, your opponent has to attack it in order for it to activate.
Right.
But there's a specific unit, this one right here. I don't think I'll be able to play him because he might die. I have to wait for the thing. It didn't activate because I canceled it on accident. I have to
Right.
fix that. uh, so, all right. I'll just wait up the. I'm just running out the combat.
Uh,
So he doesn't die when I put him out there. Okay.
there we go.
So. I gotta wait a turn.
That's a chest.
Let's make a mimic. Alright, so his ability. He basically moves things. So what you can do is you can pick the ability where it gives your opponent money.
Mm-hmm.
Then I don't think you can do this. It shouldn't let me, but for example, you can move this onto your rival's space.
Right.
Oh yeah, it does. Okay. Anyways, okay. So whenever you can attack, whenever you attack it, you'll get the money because it's now his card, and if you chose the ability to where it gives your rival money when it's destroyed, and then now when you attack it, you're considered the rival now. So then you would get the money, or if you wanted to make it into a mimic or whatever.
Right.
You can give him a mimic, I guess, but if you do choose mimic and it stays on the field for too long, then you can also give it to him again. And then you can attack it yourself, and then you'll still get the money. Because if you choose mimic and it stays on the field for too long, then the mimic doesn't spawn when it's destroyed. So that's the gamble.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So then you can. He only moves structure, so you can't do that with units. There are cards that can steal units, but not this one in particular. He can't steal structures though. So if say you build like a fort which protects your cards, you can be like, oh no, he's gonna probably die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can. Let's say this is on your rivals. Okay, let's say this is your rivals. Oh, okay, let's say one of these. So his ability is basically collect this, and then you can steal it.
It become yours.
Yeah.
Right.
It shouldn't work with this. I mean, it will work with that, but I put a little clause in there that says like it can't be the magic quill or something. Because I want you to also be able to move their magic quill.
Oh, but you cannot move it to your end or something.
Yeah.
Right.
I want it to be able to where you can't move it to over here. So I'm gonna put on this. This is gonna say like control this card can't change or something like that.
Ah.
Yeah, so that way if you try and move it with this dude, it's gonna be like, no, you can't do that, bro.
But now you can do that.
Yeah.
What happens if
That's
you
why. Go ahead.
what happens if you do actually drag the magic well to your end? Does the game just end?
No, nothing happens. It just
Ah,
considers. I mean, uh, with how the code works, it would eventually break due to some cards that reference the magic well.
oh right, right.
So if it ever tries to like there's cards that cost magic to use their abilities. So if you do something like that, it'll probably crash the game because you
Right.
don't control one of them. And how the code works is it looks for the magic well in your battlefield. To then, there's probably an easier way for me to do it, but whatever.
If it works, it
Um,
works.
yeah, if it works, it works. um, so yeah, basically how it is, it looks through here, and if it doesn't find anything, then it's gonna try and reference it, and there's nothing to reference, so it's just gonna crash.
Hmm.
That's basically what's gonna happen there. Actually, here. Oh no, they're attacking them. So you can like defend them. So this is where all like the strategy starts coming out and stuff. So like right now he's defending him. I had to weaken this guy because this guy's way too strong. He was like a 4-0, which was like it's like a massive wall like the fort.
Mm.
He has 0 attack, but I mean the fort doesn't have any attack either, but it's really strong. Yeah, all right, so yeah, so you can like do stuff like that. Like I'm not gonna. You can do it. but you won't be able to later. Yeah.
Uh, now you have two
Yeah.
wells.
Yeah. So if I play an ability that actually looks for a well, or if they attack it, actually, I shouldn't have done that. Oh shit, I didn't think about that. Don't attack it. Okay. Well, he's gonna die anyways. Shit. I probably should have just played a damn wall. Why didn't? Infinite money. There you go.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, and I can like just give it back to him or whatever. Yeah, obviously you won't be able to do that in a real game, but yeah,
Right.
you can do that. It's just gonna crash if you do
Well,
something
I
different.
like that you can just take it and then return it, and the game is still working nicely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing breaks so far. That's amazing.
Yeah, I know what would break it, but the no cards that my enemy plays right now actually references the whale,
Ah.
so it's not gonna break right now. And I know that much. But say what is it? Yeah, this one. So this one in particular costs magic.
Mm.
So you pay magic and then it gains exhaust. And then you pay magic and then you give exhaust to a card to a unit in the battlefield. So it's very because this is one of the only cards that you can play that you can use its ability in the kingdom that can affect the battlefield. So it's basically like immune to all your opponent's attacks and stuff.
Right.
So I make it like I'm gonna make it like super expensive to actually use because that's a really strong ability to put exhaust on any card.
Mm.
It's also unique, so you can only have one. So like I tried to limit it as much as possible because that's a really powerful ability.
Mm.
But I wanted to have something that did something like that, and it was the perfect. Because originally in the original design of the card, this is basically what it did. So this is carried on for like since this card was ever made. So I have other cards that do other things. For example, I have this one right here. This is a very special one. It's one of the strongest cards regarding power.
Mm.
So basically, it can only be played on a card with 0 attack. It can only be played on those two cards, one of those, either the cultist or the lost peasant. So either this one or that one. But when you do play it, it plays it, and it's a really powerful card. I gotta actually take that off. It shouldn't lose whenever. Whatever. Yeah, anyways, what was I gonna say? But yeah, the thing about this one though is that it loses one attack and one health every turn, so it's not. So it can be overpowering, but there's little combos that you can do with it. Like this one in particular, he wait, no, I changed that. That's right. Yeah, I took that away because I was too strong.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, what his ability is, he kills one of your dudes, your own dudes, and he gains their attack and health. But
Okay.
he's expensive to bring in
Hmm.
because you gotta stack him on a lot of cards. But when you do get him out, he's actually really strong because he pretty much never dies because of his ability.
Right.
I think I'm actually not as like a 1/1 or something, or maybe like a 3/2 or something low. Because if you eat one of the Beckons, a Becky,
Uh-huh.
when you eat one of these, then he basically becomes like he just refills them all. So it makes him like a 9/9, which is like the strongest you can get on a card
Right.
currently. Might change that in the future, but right now 9/9 is the strongest you can get.
Mm.
Um, so there's that one. What's another one? He can eat his own cards. Oh, this one was a fun one to mess with. So this is also a fun one to mess with. So her ability is your opponent has to make a move, has to move one of their cards, or they take two magic damage, which is your life.
Mm.
You have the cat. Cat can move without triggering an action. So like if I move it, no actions happen. Yeah, but he still saves gains exhaust. So that was a fun one to mess with. The ghost ship, I'm actually gonna have that same ability. They all have themes though. Normals are basically your basic units. The holies are all about healing.
Mm.
The undead are all about numbers, so they keep bringing out more and more. The mystics are all about messing with attack, basically powering up your units.
Right.
And the Florians are all about movement, so they pretty much all impact movement.
Oh, why are they called Florians? What's
Yeah,
that mean?
Florians.
Sorry,
Um,
how do you,
so
yeah.
originally I was going to have everything be more plant like, so it'd be like
Oh,
Alice in Wonderland, but everything's like plants. But that was
right.
very difficult to find on the the AI art to
Right,
get it to do
right.
what I wanted it to do. So
Uh,
basically, what I did is I made some of them like normal, what you would expect of Alice in Wonderland, but all the royal stuff, like the queen and all that,
yeah.
I gave them like a plant like uh, look. So you have the Court of Roses, which is the Queen of Hearts.
Hmm.
It's her court. Then you have the cards, which became Acorn Knights. So I put little numbers on their little staff things. You can't really see it, but that's on purpose.
Right.
Like a little three. Um, so these are the cards, the Acorn Knights, and they basically spawn more of themselves. So like in the movie, they would stack up to each other, and then they'd like split apart to make more. That's kind of what influenced that. These are the what are they called? Double double D's.
Oh
Is that
yeah.
right?
Oh crap.
Yeah.
I forgot the name.
Triple D's. Anyways, I changed the name. I don't know. That's gonna bother me. What are they called?
Let me look it up. Alice in Wonderland.
Change your name.
Twins. Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
There we go. Tweedledee. Yeah, the there's something brothers, the Tweedledee brothers or something like that. I know they have a last name. There's a word that references them both. Anyways, that's what these are. They're Shumble D's. So it's like that's why there's two of them because they're like the brothers or whatever.
Right.
Um, so basically, what they do is they move to your rivals area and they just move around like on their own. So they can like randomly go to a spot that'll screw up your opponent's turn or whatever, something like that.
Hmm.
But this one combos with the glaive, which the glaive is you target a card, and every time that card moves, its controller loses life or well magic or whatever.
Hmm.
So basically, what you do is you bring out this little dude, you give him to your opponent because you can move. You can move him to your opponent's area, and then you target it with the glaive. Then now that it's moving on its own each time, your opponent's taking damage. But your opponent can also activate the ability to move it back. But if you're playing the Florians, then you'll be able to use that to your advantage to have them in your what do you call it? Your battlefield.
Right.
So like it doesn't hurt you as much, basically. And then you have the Jabberwocky, which just burns, and if they move while they're burned, then they take damage. It's one of the stronger cards too. That's why this one's also unique because it's just a straight up magic damage. It's not an attack,
Mm.
and so there's no retaliation. So usually when you attack something, the thing you attack attacks back, depending on there's some specific rules regarding range. But if you use the ability like this, there's no attacking back. There's no retaliation. So it just straight up damages, which is a really powerful ability. Which is why that ability is going to be expensive. He's going to be unique, and he's going to be expensive himself. And then you have the Queen, which every time one of the knights. Oh yeah. So how the knights work? Wait, I don't have any amount. How the knights work?
Mm-hmm.
They got to be in here first. So what they do is they spawn a new knight, then they kill themselves.
What?
You can keep
It's a...
they get stronger though.
Oh.
I had to limit it though. I had to limit it because if you had like two or three of them, you see he's still alive. But let's say the idea is, let's say you spawn a new one, and they attack that one in particular, the one that I'm using the ability of, they'll still get damaged, but he was gonna die anyways.
Right.
So, but then you also get a new one, so it's like you're just recycling them constantly. So you die. So if they would have attacked him, they would have also got damaged because he attacks back. And then they would have died, but he was gonna die anyway. So it's like you're not losing anything.
Right.
It's like an anticipation kind of thing. But he also gets only 2 exhausts. The downside to this is you can kind of spam it, but that's why I limited it. Because before they always gained 1 plus whatever their current stats were. So basically what ended up happening when I was testing it is like you can just do it once for one of them, and if the enemy like just ignores them, you can just keep doing it with all of them, and they'll just get like extremely powerful. And then you just have like an entire army of like just 4 of them. They're like all 9/9s. And I was like, yeah, that's too much. That's way too powerful. Like I didn't even expect it to get that strong. But then it made me think of maybe I can do something like that with another card. That could be like this card right here, maybe like a super acorn or something. That you can only have one of. But anyways, that was fun to learn. Is that everything? All the cool little.
Do you have a specific approach to balancing? Because I look at this right now, like so many cards, and each card, does different things. So do you have how do you make it easy to balance?
When I make the cards and I put their little abilities on, I always consider I try and consider all the abilities and all the things that could happen, all the edge cases. And I'm pretty sure I didn't catch most of them, maybe. Because this is, like you said, there's a bunch of cards and there's all kinds of different ways to combo them and whatnot. So although I've considered like some combos that will cross over between different kinds, like these can combo with the overlords, some of the overlords, the mystics, and some of the mystics can combo with some of the undeads, I believe. And there's some other combo stuff too, but I try and consider that, and then I usually try and test it. So when I make a new card, I try and test that card. That's why the acorns I figured out were way too powerful. Because when I was testing it, it just got ridiculous. Basically, you'd build like a whole bunch of forts like this. Then you just put the little dudes behind them so they can survive long enough to actually get strong. And then you just keep spawning more of them, and then they get really powerful. And it's just
they have a whole army.
And then you have a whole army of like 9/9s, and it's just too much. So I limited them to only be able to get the max of 2/2. So you still get that benefit of whenever they attack and you spawn, you can anticipate that. And your unit doesn't die, but theirs does, basically. I've even considered making them even 1/1s, because that's still kind of strong. Or maybe a 2/1. Maybe, I don't know, it depends. So when I make a card, I have to test it. and I have a few rules that are. Here's the thing, though. Whenever you think about balance, not all rules will carry over between all games.
Mm-hmm.
But because I played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh, I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh, I used to play Magic. I played a lot of other card games. I played Duelist of the Roses, which is what this game was influenced most by, probably. Uh, and there's certain little rules that you have to follow, or that you notice, like little things. I don't know exactly how what their thought process behind their games were, but you get a feel for it. And
Right.
basically, you don't want anything that can be instantly. You don't want anything that gives you infinite resources. So like anything that gives you life constantly in one turn.
Mm.
Uh, or if it does, if it might, then you limit it by uh, saying like once per turn, or you give it like a limit, like you can only use this every. In my game, you can only use this like every 5 actions, something like that.
Right.
That way, you don't have players that go crazy. For example, this was a broken one. This kind of broke that rule,
Mm.
which is why he got really powerful because you could constantly just keep using it and spamming it and then making him stronger. So
Right.
I don't know, deep down, I really like the idea of him becoming really strong, but then I was like, it's too strong, so I had to limit him. So
Right.
that was my answer to that. So basically, it's you just keep doing stuff like this.
Mm.
For example, like I said before, this one was too strong, so I lowered his health down. I might even lower it more because 3 is still kind of good. And
Mm.
then you have these. I haven't been able to really test these much, but they seem pretty fine. It also depends on how much they cost, like how much stability will cost. I might raise it because you're basically getting like a nice little enemy, and you're able to do that like every turn, or whatever, and you can do it in the battlefield as well. So it's like there's like a balance there.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, everything else is just, or from what I've looked over, everything else is pretty balanced enough, maybe. But if other people start playing it, I don't know what kind of combos will pop out, and that's why when I start seeing other people play it, if anyone, uh, I'll watch, and hopefully some people record it, but
Yeah.
I'll watch what they do, and I'll be able to be like, okay, and if they find any kind of like broken combos,
Uh-huh.
I'll basically I'll know, and then I'll be like, okay, I can just change that. So as long as I don't find like a completely game breaking combo that's like that can't be fixed, which I don't think can be done. Maybe the only real worry regarding the balance is that I hope these aren't too strong.
Mm.
Basically, if that happens, then I'll just raise prices or change some of the stats. So I have a so that's something I don't know if there's a technical term for this, but there's quite a few different avenues I have to change how easy or how hard it is to get a card out, and to change how strong it is. So you have like a life attack, you have the gold cost, you have exhaust, which is like you can't use the card while it's exhausted,
Mm.
and then you have costs for like when you overplay them on something. Uh, so there's stuff like that, and then there's initial abilities that I can add on the cards that either weaken them or strengthen them.
Mm.
So wait, did I even add that? I might not have. No, I didn't add that. Okay, I gotta put that on there. The ability where it takes away a counter. Oh no, that's fine. No. I made it exhaust. That's right. It used to be counters, but I took that off. Oh, that's another way to combo. You can there's some cards that can add exhaust, and there are cards that can take away exhaust. So you can make this card actually activate sooner than it would, or you can make it activate later than it would. And if
Right.
you can anticipate like the opponent's attack, let's say it's at 0, your opponent has an idea that they might be able to get money if they attack it. And what you can do is you can use an ability to target it and give it exhaust. And now that it has exhaust, it's going to be the opposite effect that they expect. So there's some anticipation there as well.
Right.
You can constantly give it exhaust with some abilities, but you have to use up actions to do that every time. So that can become a problem, and it doesn't protect anything. So it's like people can attack around it, so they never have to attack it at all.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, so that's how I tackle balance. Some abilities are still changing. Some of them I still have to test because they're not even programmed in yet. Like I said, I only have these 5 right now. So whenever I test these out, I'm gonna have to, test them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's like the page. So this is the Mr. Mimic, the the treasure chest for the top hat. I think that's everything I did.
Cool. Ooh, what's next?
Yeah. Just program the rest of the abilities. I have those 5 more, and I guess these 2. Right?
Alright, rest of the abilities, 5. So 5 more tabs is equivalent to how many cards you have to design?
12. 12 is in each tab.
That means 60 cards to go?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my god, 60.
Now that I hear the number out loud, I'm like, that's a lot of fucking cards. It's fine. I did the first 5, and that took.
You're saying?
But
Yeah.
yeah. Part of the problem was the stuff that I was talking about, the termites. Yeah, I was messing with my. They're like very little, anyways.
So, sorry, I think your mic cut off midway through. Something about termites. You're saying?
About what?
Something about termites? I think you mentioned termites, and then your mic cut off.
I mentioned termites a while back.
Right.
Remember I said I got termites because my sleep's been getting interrupted.
Right.
I didn't work on the game as much on some days, so I wasn't able to get as much done as I wanted. But I got a good.
Well, it sounds like you got a lot done though.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it because it's like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it because this is only like half of each tab. So there's 12, and then there's gonna be another 12 that's I'm gonna add in later, which is gonna be like the trap cards and magic cards.
Right.
So that's gonna be fun. That's basically doing. So that's what. I think I counted 360 cards total.
Oh my god.
So that's, what is that? 60. It's 120, and then you double that. No, it wasn't 300. It's 280. So no, oh yeah. Plus, I also, whenever I was doing my calculations, I also added in these that don't exist. So anyways, in the future, there's gonna be these as well. But for right now, it's, what is it? 60, so that's 120, then you double it because each one's gonna have 12 magic and trap cards. So that's 240 cards, and plus the few that are in here, so that's like 6.
Right.
7, 8, 9. Yeah, so it's a lot of cards. That's a lot of cards, but
yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Oh wow.
Maybe I'll just release with these, and I'll just add these in slowly.
Like content patches, right? Yeah, content updates.
Just be like, oh, new pack, whatever.
Yeah, man.
The only worry with that is that I don't want people to get through the game like too fast, and they're just stuck there waiting.
Oh, right.
But I have a backup plan, sort of. If that does happen, then I'll basically make a versus version inside of this isn't a full solution, but basically I'll make a playable version between people in the what was it called? Tabletop Simulator? Yeah, that way people can like actually play each other. Because that's the end goal of all this. I want to actually make a multiplayer. Multiplayer game. So all the balancing is revolving around that.
Yeah. That means you will be playing. You'll be making a multiplayer version within GameMaker itself, right?
Yeah, eventually. Yeah. But that it takes a while, and I don't know how to approach that yet. Because I don't know how to netcode and all that stuff. But I'll. Go ahead.
Yeah, have you heard anything about their multiplayer update?
Yeah. The thing about that is you have to download Opera. So
right.
That already limits my player base.
Yeah, no, but they are bringing it to other platforms, right? But they also did mention a new runtime. Like they are making a new runtime for the engine. That means like they are kind of restructuring a lot of the underlying code base, right? I'm not sure what that means for the multiplayer support. Like, I'm not sure if it will be affected because the new runtime that they are making, like we only get access to that runtime if we become subscribed users.
Subscribe to what?
The Game Maker subscription to Game Maker.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if they do that, I told myself. I think I remember hearing about this. I think I told myself, yeah, I'd probably end up buying the bank. I'd end up getting the subscription.
Right. It's not too
If,
expensive, right? I think it's like
yeah. If assuming they don't add an extra charge, because then that, why the hell would they do that? It defeats the point
yeah.
of having a description and charging you for it. Like just charge us for it. That way we can do it without the description. I mean, if they do that, then that'll kind of piss me off because then they'll just tell me like, well, you're just doing it for the fucking money.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a business and all that. They gotta make money, but it's another step of a little like seediness.
Yeah.
What's the word? What's the word I'm thinking of? Yeah, you get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
You know
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's another step of that.
Right. Yeah, so I'm just wondering if when the multiplayer supports the full support do come.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll see the news somewhere at some point.
Right.
They'll probably push an update and it'll like say something about it. Because they always have that first paragraph at the top that like explains what they changed in the updates. So if I always read it. And so if they'll most definitely put that in that particular thing. Unless they don't, which would be really stupid of them. It's a really important thing. It's one of the things that a lot of people whenever they did their little survey. That's one of the things that were near the top of the list was like multiplayer support or something. I forget what it was. It was like three things, like three big things. And I want to say multiplayer was one of those three. It was either 3 or 5.
Yeah. Not just that. The new runtime is like a big thing because apparently it makes it easy to write plugins to Game Maker. I think I'm not sure. Like, I'm not very clear about the details, but that is supposed to be like a major step forward for the engine. Roiku says that the runtime thing comes next year, so it'll still be a while. Yeah, it's not that soon. But I'm personally excited for the multiplayer stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
because it'll make stuff like this like easier, quotes.
Yeah, hopefully easier. Yeah.
Yeah. To actually get people playing it and whatnot. Now I could do like so part of the strategy is to be able to hide some of your plays. So I thought about doing like the Steam.
Yes.
What is it? Remote play thing.
Yes.
But
both players will be looking at the same screen, right?
Yeah, they'd be looking at the same screen. They wouldn't be able to have players hide certain things.
Yeah.
Like for example, this one, the chess. Like obviously, it's gonna be which obvious one you choose. Although I could, if it's on controller, then that's the only way. So when I first made the other game, the first Isle of the Crown, that was one of the ways I learned how to hide inputs. So let's say they had a controller. That's what you would have to play with. You couldn't play with the mouse.
Right.
Because otherwise, one player would it. Because I believe you have to give control of the mouse to the other player. And the only way to do that is to like. So if you give them control, then they have control, and I don't believe you do, or I don't remember what the thing was, but I'd probably see it if I looked at it again.
Right.
But anyways, only one player can really control the mouse at a time. So in order to actually make it work with remote play, unless they changed this, I don't think they did. The only way to make it work with remote play is if I don't know what the hell they call them. The person streaming the game, if they go into the options every time and toggle the who's controlling the mouse, so I'd have to make it solely controller focused.
Right.
There's another way to do it, but it's too complicated to actually implement because it required so many button presses. It'd be like if you wanted to play this card, you press A, B, Y. something like that. So that that'd get a little too complicated.
That would be too much, right? Yeah, right, right.
I would be able to add a wheel, but the problem with that is, I mean, I could give them options to switch between this, like to press, I don't know, up on the D-pad and it goes up here and they can like move around and whatnot.
Mm.
Then you can select your thing, then press down to go down here and they can like select their card, which is still a little tedious, but whatever. It would have to be if that's what it was for controls.
Yeah, yeah.
The bigger problem would be just actually playing the card. Because you have to go in here, you have to select the card hovers, and then you have to come over here and you have to.
What if you just use your thumbstick as the to control the cursor?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, you meant like just a free roam.
Yeah. Yeah, free roaming cursor.
So that's what the original Eye of the Crown was.
Right.
And that came with a few problems. Problems that probably could have been fixed, but whenever I was testing with some friends, and they were using controllers, if there was like a connection issue, basically what would happen is it would either not take in the input, or worse, it would keep putting in the input.
Oh no.
Yeah, so there were times whenever they were pressing left, but then it would skip for them or something, and then it just keep going left, and it just constantly go until the controller reconnected, and then it'd stop, and then they could do whatever they wanted to do.
Right.
The same thing could still happen with a little ticking, but it's a little easier to control it regarding whether or not a button's held down or something, or a stick direction is held down or not. But like I said, this is probably something that could have been fixed. I probably just didn't notice it back then because that was a long time ago. I've learned a lot more since then. But yeah, that's why I'm a little weary on just giving them max. Plus, a lot of people don't like it. Most people that I've asked regarding having the cursor move with a mouse stick.
Right.
I mean, having the mouse move with a.
They don't like it. Right. That makes sense. It's even against the I don't know, the design guidelines for Xbox, right? Like that's why Xbox games don't have that.
They Destiny does it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Destiny has that kind of moving around cursor thing.
Wait, really?
If I recall.
Wow, I thought it was against their design guidelines.
A few, any game that's similar to Destiny, I believe, has that kind of like moving around thing, the cursor.
Right.
I don't know if you could toggle it, but last I remember, and when I saw gameplay of Destiny 2, when I played, whenever it had like I only played it once. Man, that game, I did not like that game. but whenever you move, whenever I was playing, and whenever I saw people more footage, I want to say at least 6 months ago footage. I saw them moving around with a little cursor thing, and
they're not using mouse.
Yeah, they're not using mouse. They're using the actual cursor.
Oh.
Because some of them were playing on like console or whatever.
Right.
Or just playing the game on the computer with a controller. You can also tell sometimes, even if they don't show the controller, you can tell by the movement. Because if it's like fast, like jarring movement, then it's a mouse.
Using mouse,
if it's like a steady, if it's like a steady like movement, then that's when you can usually tell when it's a controller.
Yeah.
Unless they do move around like that, like real slowly instead of just going like. Yeah, no. I personally really do actually like the cursor with a controller kind of thing, which I loved even more whenever I worked on it for Eye of the Crown, the first one. Because I really like the idea of like being able to hover over things, and you can change the cursor as well, while you're moving around.
Right.
I mean, you can do that now, but in Game Maker, it's a little more annoying. Oh, that's another thing. Whenever it's in Game Maker, is the cursor's lag.
Yeah.
It's following your cursor.
Yeah.
If it's on the controller, it won't do that because it's just moving with the buttons. There's no.
Right. Yeah. There's no real cursor per se, right?
Yeah.
The cursor lag. There's this developer by the name of Yellow Afterlife that
Yeah,
who has
I
a
know
great
it
fix it.
exists.
Yeah.
I've the what was it? It was like a specific thing. Like so, as you keep running into more things that have to do with SDKs and whatnot,
Mm.
I'm becoming more and more weary of using other people's stuff because
Mm.
I have to rely on them updating it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can
so
relate.
it's like, so it's like I kind of don't want to do that solution,
Yeah.
and I believe it doesn't work. I think it's only a Windows thing.
Yes,
So like,
yes.
if I wanted to port to
Mac?
like anything else, yeah, to like a Mac, I don't think this code works for Macs.
Right.
Yeah, so that's another problem. So, and if so, in the future, let's say people really like the game and they want like a Mac version, I have to make a Mac version.
Mm.
I wouldn't be able to use that code, and then I'd be stuck in a bit of a problem because I wouldn't be able to supply them with that same functionality,
True.
which would be really annoying.
True, true. Yeah, I'm kind of
So
in like a similar situation for serial scramblers. Right,
yeah,
I'm
you have
yeah.
in your particular case though, because you're mobile,
Yeah.
I can see why you kind of need it. So it sucks.
Yeah, it sucks, it sucks. Like yeah, the web platform I was using for serial scramblers, they went down, the company folded, so yeah, yeah, so it's the game is not serving any ads at the moment, like I'm not making anything from that game. And I have no time to go and fix it, so yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. I'll have to try and force myself to find time to fix it, like hopefully this year, but we'll see.
I mean, it's not like it was making like a ton of money or anything, was it?
Nah, it's not. It's not. Yeah.
Yeah. So at this point, it's just like just let it be.
But no,
Whatever.
but it's it affects quite a number of things. Like for example, the game is designed to be very difficult, right? And so player die a lot. So when they die, they have by design they have two retries. Like each time they die, they can revive themselves twice. Once through in-game currency, and the other option is to watch an ad, right? And it's because the ad library is no longer working, they completely lose
Oh,
the chance to yeah. So it
yeah.
becomes
So
even
they have
harder
to.
now. So that was not my
Yeah,
intention, right? To make it so
it
hard.
becomes grindier,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That
So
was
that.
the irony of it.
Mm,
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
yeah.
That's the usual outcome of not using the ad thing. Of a player not choosing to do it. It's always grindier. So the choice is either grind more or not grind less. And
Yeah.
because your grind less method was taken away, you're just stuck with the grind more.
No, it's not even that, right? I don't even let them. How do I put it? Like even if you have a lot of in-game currency, I only let them use it once per round. So yeah, so they really only
Um,
have one chance to revive themselves, and not any more than that because they lost the other one. They lost the
and it
ability to
sucks.
revive through ads. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, something to. This is
I
something that's
mean,
haunt me all the time. Yeah.
as long as it's not. I mean, you have different versions of it out, right?
Yes, yes. So like on the Steam version it's more lenient. Yeah. Steam version
Mm,
is just entirely using the in-game currency. Yeah, and the reason why I changed it was because I got feedback from the mobile release that it was really difficult. Right, I look at the data, right, and it's also partly because of the demographic, right? Like who's perhaps mobile gamer tend to be more casual. There was
oh
a lot of
yeah, that's
people.
usual.
Yeah, a lot of people actually gave up really early in the game. So that's why
Mm,
in the Steam version I made it less punishing. Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-mm-mm.
Uh,
Yeah. So
shoot,
so so we were talking about using third-party libraries, right? And you were talking about why
yeah.
you wouldn't want to use it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've run into Yellow Afterlife stuff before. He also has he also made one that worked with Steamworks, but I think
Mm.
Game Maker actually added that.
That's the official one now, right? Hello, hello,
Hello?
hello, hello. Sorry. I think we went silent. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yes.
You hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh.
At least for now. For now. Yes. Yeah,
What was I
you're
saying?
talking about Steamworks.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I believe there's a actual integrated one now
Nice, nice.
for Steamworks. There was something else that came out recently. What was it?
Something
Epic?
else?
Epic. That's right. I remember reading up on that.
Are they supporting Epic now?
Yeah, sort of.
Nice.
So Epic's coming out with their new thing with the self-publishing thing.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
And when I was reading the documentation on that, or the whatever you would call that,
Mm-hmm.
the stuff on it,
Mm-hmm.
one of the things I ran into was something I didn't know they had, which was they actually have a free networking option that you can use as your server, I believe, something like that. Like you can use it to transfer data and whatnot. So you can use it for multiplayer games.
Oh, okay.
But it also carries over. It's usable on every platform, so it doesn't just have to be Epic Store games. So let's say you make a Steam game, you can also use that.
Oh,
The actually communicate with each other. The reason they do this is for cross-play reasons.
very nice.
And so I
And
read
it's
up on
free.
that, and I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. And I was curious, like, well, this thing's new, but I wonder if Game Maker made like a thing that in anticipation for this or whatever. And apparently there is an actual SDK. It's new. I haven't tested it or anything, but there's an SDK that's in the works, or it's. I think you can actually download it and use it, but it's in beta.
Yeah.
And I kind of forgot about this. I can't believe I forgot about it. But anyways, yeah. So that's one of the other avenues I was probably considering.
Nice.
From what I read, it was free. I don't remember if it was free if you were published on Epic or if it was just free in general.
Right.
I want to assume I will assume that you have to actually be on Epic to get it for free.
Hmm.
But I'm not sure.
Oh,
Or they might have changed the pricing model. I don't know. It might not be
right.
free anymore.
That's not something that Steam provides, right? Do they?
No. So like I said,
Yeah.
there's Yellow Afterlife's thing. There's Yellow Afterlife's thing.
Mm.
And then I think there's the usual Game Maker, the new thing that they have that actually supports it. So I don't think you need Afterlife's thing anymore.
Right.
I think. I'm not entirely sure.
Right.
Maybe they relied entirely on him. I know they've hired him to make stuff. I remember reading I was in the forums and I was reading around. And I think he brought that up one time where like they hired him for some stuff before. Yeah, so I was also thinking before regarding Epic's little thing going on. Then I saw the SDK for the Steamworks. I mean, for Game Maker, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty interesting. I might actually try that because that's all I really needed." When I was testing my stuff before, like communicating with stuff really isn't that difficult, but I didn't get too into it. So there's also like a whole bunch of safety protocols that you have to take into consideration.
Right.
Which I don't know much about or anything really. So I have to look into that as well. So I can actually get some net coding. Man, I can't wait until if I ever get a solution that I can work with really easily, where I can just start making multiplayer games, that'd be just so fucking good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can just finally make this, and then I can actually make other multiplayer games.
Yeah.
So that'd be fun.
Yeah, looking forward to that. And it's also Game Maker says they are supporting rollback netcode, right? So
Yeah.
fantastic. Cool, man. Well,
So
shall we recap then?
Yep.
Hang on.
Show my screen.
Oh, I see cockroach. Recap. Oh yes, I am going to push a build to beta very soon, and I hope to release a new update before the end of the month. That's it for me.
I plan on working on the other 5 abilities, the other sovereign abilities
Hmm.
or classes. I still don't have a name for that.
Yeah, plan on
Tribes.
working on 60 cards for the week. Yeah!
Yeah, I was 16. Yeah. And they'll be all in the game. You know, maybe I don't know. Maybe I should drip feed it. I'll have them ready on the fire, and then I'll come up with like every month come out with like a new.
Yeah, I think that's probably a better approach in my opinion, because then you can balance as you update, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I can see what kind of broken stuff people come up with the first few.
Yeah.
So I'll probably start with three. The first three, which would be the humans, the holies, and then the undead. And then from there, every month I'll just add in a new, or every 2 weeks. I'll probably start with a month. A month is usually a good choice. And then
Yeah.
every add in a new sovereign, which give me time to also work on them.
Yeah. Wait, does it
Well,
mean
actually,
you have a roadmap to release and post release as well?
now that I think about it,
Uh-huh.
that would make it sooner.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because then okay, so I release it. I gotta make the Steam page. Okay, so,
Right?
okay, so I make the map. I introduce the story,
Uh.
the tutorial. They fight the first one. They fight the second one. They fight the third one, which is 9 enemies, I believe, in total.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there to be like, this is all there is right now. Check it next month, or I'll tease the next pack, I guess.
Yeah. You could
And
also
then I
release it
can,
as like early access as well.
yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
did I not say that? Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I was going. That's the plan. Early access. The only, like I said before, the only real problem is the AI art, which I'm sure most people won't like. So I might end up sitting on like either a mostly negative or a
Uh-huh.
what's the middle one?
Mostly positive?
No. There's a yellow one.
Or mixed?
Mixed. There you go. That's the
Yeah.
one. Yeah, mixed. I think it'll sit at mixed because of the AI stuff.
Right.
It depends. It depends. And there's a question of a demo and how much. Maybe every month I raise it $1
Yeah.
with the updates, and then it'll probably end up at 15 at the end.
Hmm.
Then I gotta get people to actually test it now. Ah, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the new plan is
Uh-huh.
I already have the first 5 made, so that's not gonna be a big problem. So that means I can put off the other 5 until I start updating them for the new updates
Yes.
and the teasing of the packs.
Yes.
So let's see. Let me think. Okay, so first thing is make Steam page, put that up, send it out. Then work on the first 3, actually using them and making sure they all work. With like their AI and stuff, to how they play their cards.
Mm.
And then work on the map, which with 3 of them, they shouldn't be too difficult. It's only 3 spaces. 1 for the shop and the other 3 for their own thing. And then from there, I guess that would be a release, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. You introduce them to the story at the beginning, in the tutorial. Let them fight the other ones, unlock the packs, get the cards. Yeah, that should work. Yeah.
Right.
So Steam page.
Wait, when's the first release? This year?
Yeah,
This year. Wow.
should be this year.
Right.
So Steam page, I'll get on that. Actually, I'll probably start working on that right after this ends. Which is funny because all the other ones.
Team's Paradise.
Fortune's Paradise. Yeah, man. Actually, no. I started making the Steamworks for Steam Paradise. I just never finished it.
Right.
Yeah. I think, right? Or did I start? Oh, there's no way I made House of Krular. There's no way I made that Steam page before the Tim's Paradise. I don't think so. Anyways, yeah. So okay, Steam page, AI, map, story. So
4 things. Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that would be fun.
Cool. That will be your focus for the week then, right?
Yeah, that would be my focus of the week.
All right, man. Well, I guess that's it. Let's wrap up. Shall we do this again next week? Yeah, hopefully John will be able to make it, and then we'll see how far he has gone. I think he mentioned getting the game like completely done, right, to the point where he would be able to start working on multiplayer.
Are you talking about what he said last time?
Yeah. What he said last time? What he said last time?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think
he did say that. He did say that.
He did say that?
Multiplayer. He said it would be multiplayer. He said he wouldn't finish it.
Right.
He said it'd be playable on multiplayer, or at least he aimed to make it playable on multiplayer.
Right. Aim to make it playable on multiplayer. Right.
From what I remember, anyways. Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember making a joke about. He didn't say he was gonna finish it.
It's just gonna be playable. You push a button and something happens.
Yeah.
Right.
But it'll be multiplayer, so that's important.
Right. I'm actually quite curious about how the web multiplayer is done. Like I have seen students playing pretty hectic first-person shooters in the web browser, right? And it works like super smoothly, you know. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It just looks great. So I'm curious how people go about doing it. Yeah. So.
Maybe I should ask John how to.
Sorry.
Maybe I should ask John how to network.
Show that to John.
Oh, ask him if I can. If he can program me some netcode.
Oh yeah. Yeah, when he comes back. No, he's at the moment he's working primarily with JavaScript, right? Like doing web stuff. Yeah. Maybe he will move on to, I don't know, game maker. he actually hates writing in GML. That's one thing. Yeah, because I think when we were working together in game maker like a couple of years back, the language wasn't that flexible. Right?
Oh,
yeah, that was before the support. That was before they supported structs, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, and you know, compared to other programming languages, GML is still kind of lacking. Yeah, but I'm okay with it. I think since adding structs, it's already been a lot. You know, a lot.
I don't even know how
a lot
to use
manageable.
those.
Sorry.
I don't even use those. I don't even know how.
Yeah, no, it's just that, you know, he has been using all those, you know, different features for so long, right? The fact that it's not in GameMaker is a bit of a pain point for him. Yeah.
Yeah, whenever they came out with it and you sounded like really excited about it, I was like, what's so exciting about it?
Yeah, the people who got...
I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, it's just, you know, the people who are really, really excited, they are all from a technical background, yeah. That's why, yeah. It's cool. Well, I'll talk to you next week then. Yep. See you. Bye. Yeah, have a good one. That was fun. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Han actually showed something earlier. What's this? Is Han still here? Yo, what is this? A card game? That's very nice, nicely drawn diagrams. Oh, I'll give this a look-see in a bit. Nice art. Yeah. Apparently it's from what, DigiPen? DigiPen game design module, is it? Is that it? Not sure. Han said, wait, let me see. What did Han say? Han said someone from Digipen shared the game design Figma. Game design using Figma, quite interesting. It's really nice art, right? Vector art. Looks like vector art. Pretty. Well, anyways, I actually need to go and do grading now. No, wait, I'm gonna play a bit of Zelda first, then I'll do grading. Aha! But before that, is there anyone we can perhaps raid? From reading the card, it kinda reminds you of Pandemic. Oh yeah. Yeah, perhaps. Disaster deck. Well, natural disaster, flood, tornado, yeah. So I guess the focus is more on natural disaster rather than viruses. Let me see. Interesting. Is there a bot? Not sure. I don't see any diagram for the bot. Oh, is this a bot? No, these are the components. Wait, this looks like a different... This looks different. How many games are there in here? Or is this the same game? Mercy Relief. Oh, is this a mock-up? Oh, sorry, these are references. References. Rescue card front ideas. Idea cards. Right, these are all iterations of the same card, right? It's pretty cool. I don't see any bot though. There's no bots. Maybe it's not designed with a bot in mind. Mood bot. Yeah. Yeah, possibly. That could be what it is. It's very cool. Well, I think Han's not here anymore, but thanks Han, thanks for sharing. Okay, who's why don't we pay a visit to Chow? How's that? Chow apparently is drawing now, so let's pay a visit to Chow. Chow clips. Alright, anyways, thanks everyone for hanging around. I appreciate it. It's time for me to go. I'm gonna run the outro and then I'll see y'all soon. Thanks again, Divius. See you next week. Oh yeah, thanks Faith. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging around. See you all. Now we're gonna say hi to Chow.